Experiment regarding to the enzyme activity with the catalase. Please just describe what will happen, or as a result of the experiment. You have to explain why, for example, there are changes in each tube.
Okay, so here we have 4 test tubes. 3 of them will be filled with hydrogen peroxide. Here we have an experiment with the type of enzyme activities that are found in the potato, that we will see how different activities or surroundings affect the enzyme's activity. One of them will be temperature, the mass is distributed, and the type of substrate that is found when the potato's enzymes react with the substrate. Here we have 4 test tubes. The first test tube will be the control tube, while the other 3 tubes will be to showcase the differences of the experiment. 3 of the first tubes will be filled with hydrogen peroxide, while the last one will be filled with vinegar. So as we said, the first tube will be the control tube, where we will put the first potato cube. The second tube will be with the same amount of potato mass, but they're distributed into smaller cubes. While the third cube has been submerged in hot water, where we will see how the third tube will react. The third tube will react differently compared to the first tube, and the last tube has a different substrate, which contains vinegar instead of hydrogen peroxide. As we can see, maybe it's not very observable, but the first tube, which was the control tube, you can see little bubbles being formed. This is to showcase that oxygen is being produced and water, because the potato enzymes, when they react with the hydrogen peroxide substrate, the products are formed water and oxygen. In the second one, there's more bubbles, because it's way easier for the substrate to react with the potato cubes, because they're smaller and more in quantity. Even though the mass is the same, they're more reachable for the substrate. The third one was The third one was the potato was submerged in hot water. This showcases that temperature affects the type of enzyme activity because hot water denaturates the protein by making the enzyme work less efficiently, where you can see little to no bubbles being formed. And in the last one we had vinegar, and vinegar is a substrate that does not react with the potato enzyme, so we see no bubbles or anything being formed.
So there are few factors that may affect the enzyme activity. So one of them is substrate. So based on this test tube, you can see that potato is divided in small, there are few pieces of the potato here. Then you have the three different potatoes added into three other tubes. But you can see that normally bubbles are just increasing in this tube. Since there is substrate is full of the potatoes here, so the catalase activity it's much higher than the other tubes. That's why its number of bubbles is increasing, and also the amount of the supplements inside is increasing compared with three other tubes. Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have any question? No. Thank you, Omar. So this was about the experiment for enzyme factors that may affect enzyme activity.